Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to be going over the Supreme Arena defenses I'm planning to use for this week, and there should be a formation idea in the lower left corner which you can copy down as well. Now this season my district is pretty competitive. Most of the time I'm like settling for top 20. Right now we have 270 total supreme points. Occasionally I can snipe top 5, but even that is pretty difficult. So basically though, this is like just an overall message to everyone out there. Even if you're struggling to make it even maybe into top 50, maybe into top 100, just try the best with the heroes you have. Try to put together good strong defenses, and don't worry too much if you're not able to get into like the overall top bracket that you were maybe even in the previous season, because it will depend a lot based on the strength of your district, how well you're gonna place. But basically just try to put good defenses, run the heroes you have the most upgraded, and that is what I want to talk about today. Okay, so we have our three teams. I'm going to talk about what I've learned from the first week of Supreme Arena and why I've changed around some of the teams that I'm currently running, and I think that these are going to be the best ones that I can possibly run. But the number one thing, guys, is use heroes which you have the most Paragon upgraded. For example, if you have a PvP hero which is a higher Paragon tier and you're not using it on any of your defenses, try to build a team which will make use of that. And that is basically what I've done. The only heroes, for example, which I would like to somehow include would be maybe Carolina, Vala. But really, when I look at all the heroes here, like even my Paragon 2 heroes, these are not the top hero options for defense, and that is kind of why I've just not been able to fit them into a comp. So you want to run strong PvP heroes, there's no question about that, but you also want to run your Paragon upgrades. Like, it doesn't mean, for example, you start running Merrily and Corrin or anything like that just because they're Paragon upgraded, because they're just not going to be top tier PvP heroes. So it has to be like a compromise, a combination of good Paragon upgrade as well as good in PvP. Okay, so what you're going to see here is I have split up my Hypogean Celestial team, and I'm going to be running two Wilder faction talent teams. And the reason I'm doing that is because previously I had Frestor, Tailian, and Scarlita, which are all my built up heroes, all on one single team, and I was kind of like, then my other two teams that I had left over didn't have enough kill threat. So what I've done for this week, and at the end of last week I did this as well, I've distributed my power to have Scarlita on another team and make her basically the kill threat, one of the major kill threats of that team, to give that team some winning chance as well. And this team as well has a lot of win potential. Wilder faction talents are very strong this season. Like, I think for most people out there, running two different teams with Wilder faction talents will be a good option for you, because they get the invincibility at the beginning, and then they're immune to control effects as well. So in this team we have Iron, and I went for the hidden tile because the only map with hidden tiles this week is the first map. I want to have Iron on that because then the opponent doesn't know what to expect. When they see Iron on your team, then they can just bring Lily May, they can bring Dunlinger and completely shut him down. But when he's on a hidden tile, people are not going to expect it. And so that is kind of the advantage of Iron on hidden tiles. And then you're going to have Tailian. Tailian on the concealed tile, it will allow her to like basically be unaffected at the beginning of the match and then be able to cast her ultimate pretty quickly. Lily May, really good PvP hero, good damage dealer, and also good interrupter of the opponent. And Damien as our healer option. And then we have Frestor as well, who's going to be really tanky, and the main Frestor is in the back to be protected, and the Illusion is in the front to take the aggro of the opponents so that he will die first. So that is the overall team comp with the Sanctum Spell. I think Sanctum Spell is a pretty good option for PvP, especially for teams which are more stall heavy like we have here, and it gives you a really good stat distribution. HP, Vitality, and an attack are all really valuable. Basically, Vitality improves the efficiency of your healing and your shielding, and you guys know HP and attack are just overall good stats for PvP. So this is overall a team. I did experiment with it a bit last week, and it was still usually winning, even like by basically removing Scarlita and replacing it for Iron. It was still pretty much always winning against people, and then it allows me to run Scarlita on a different team. So you guys can mix and match. Like, if you don't have like these Celestial Hypogeans, the core comp of, for example, Aron, Lily May, Damien, it could work with Arden if you wanted to throw Arden in here. Thorin would be a good tank here. You could even put Carolina. Like I would probably be using Carolina if I maybe didn't have Talene here. I would probably try to use Carolina along with Aron. But anyway, overall, I'm pretty happy with this team. But I'll let you guys know if there's any like major updates I have to the team, then I'll make an updated video later in the week. But from my experience last week, this team did do pretty well, or this set of heroes, so I think this should do pretty good. Okay, now team number 2 is going to be my Scarlita Stroll team, but is back with a twist rather than having Damien here, because the thing is, now if I'm going to run 2 different Wilder faction teams, like number 1 and number 2, then I can't afford to have Damien and Haywin both on the same team, because then my first team is going to be without a healer, and that is not going to be a good option. So I have gone for Arden and Floribel. Arden is my most Paragon upgraded hero. He also is a good damage threat along with Scarlita, giving me kill potential. Now, of course, the opponent can go for like a wombo combo team with Iron. That is what I'm most worried about. But this map is going to help me because whenever 2 of your allies are about to die, or get a fatal blow, then they're going to be invincible, and they're going to restore 25% of their maximum health, and they will restore back up to full. So that kind of gives me some survival. This map is especially good. It should allow Scarlita to have enough surviving allies when she descends to deal her true damage. And I have the overcharge spell. It gives a good stat distribution again, HP, attack, and haste, and is going to give some more energy recovery to Haywin to allow her to cast her ultimate. Because once Haywin casts her ultimate, your team is really stable. You have the damage reduction, you have the massive healing, and then I feel pretty confident about this team. But I still have Thorn Swirl acting Haywin. So basically, these are my really high Paragon upgraded heroes in a Scarlita Stroll team. Floribel is kind of like the least protected of all of them, but I'm hoping that she will still not die too easily because also of the frozen respite we have for the infinite front. Now, if you guys wanted to run a team like this, but you didn't have Scarlita, you definitely could. Like, again, you could put Carolina in here if you wanted to. You could put Vala in here. Like, I'm not also using Vala, but it's just because I don't think Vala is the strongest on defense. You could even put, like, Bonnie in here for more damage and for more debuffs onto the opponent. I think all of them could be pretty good options for heroes that you could slot in here. You could even, if you're not running Talene on team number 1, you could run Talene here rather than Scarlita on team number 2. That can be a good option. Haywin does well with Talene. But anyway, overall, that is going to be my team number 2. Now, finally, we have team number 3. So, team number 3, now, I'm not going for the Graveborn strategy I was going for last week. It honestly wasn't doing too great. There were actually, it did get a couple wins from me on defense, and that team was basically Sylvina, Ludovic, Viperon, and then Shakir, and one other hero who was, like, Odie, I think. Yeah, there was one other hero who was Paragon upgrade. I can't remember exactly who it was, but the thing with that team was, it is very easy to counter. When you're running Sylvina on defense and even Vala on defense, the opponent can counter it really easily. If they're just not lazy about it, they can easily put a hero in the back tile, which is not going to be easy to assassinate, and then my team basically has no chance of winning. So that's why I went for a more, I think, stable team here. We have Tossie as a kill threat at the end to try and solo. And we have Odie, damage right from the beginning. Shakir is one of my most upgraded heroes. And I have Rowan as well, who I did Paragon pretty early on. And the energy boost can help Tossie cast ultimate faster. We have the new spell Banishing. Well, this is for, okay, you don't need to run Banishing. Like, definitely, I think Snowman, honestly, might even be better than Banishing. Like, that is the other thing. And actually, you know what? I'm going to stick with Snowman because I want to make it free-to-play friendly. I don't want to go for the pay-to-win comps. And, like, I think Snowman is going to be just fine. Honestly, I was debating between the two. I didn't know which was better, but I wanted to try Banishing. But Banishing is only if you have the like, an Asperia monthly running. So I'm going to go for Snowman. Yeah, I think this is going to be pretty good. Like, if my Tossie was more upgraded, like Paragon 2, plus 15 exclusive equipment, I actually would feel really confident about this team. My problem is my Tossie is Supreme Plus, and she's plus 10 exclusive equipment. And so for my level, that just isn't enough. And that is why I've been reluctant to use her. But I am working, I'm in the progress of Paragon upgrading her. I'm also saving season tokens to Paragon her she comes out in the season store, that is going to be a priority of mine. But yeah, I think Tassi is a good PvP hero, and I think she can do pretty good on the Mauler faction talents because, yeah, it will give her like a little bit more survivability, even throughout the whole fight, and also some bonus damage dealt to the enemies in the back. So I think it could be pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, so I overall am not like a huge fan of this team, but it's using my upgraded heroes, it's using solid heroes for PvP. I know there are going to be ways to counter this, like Iron Nuke potentially could do it, even Dunlinger denying my Shakir ultimate. There's a lot of like things. However, I think you just can't build you can't build a defense that counters everything, and I think given the options I had, this is going to be my third strongest team, and I'm excited to see how it's going to play out. But basically, the thing is, with the Paragon buff changes, it really limits what you're able to run in PvP, in my opinion, because if you're running heroes that you have, for example, a Supreme Plus, like maybe one hero on the team like Tassi, Supreme Plus, that's fine if the other one's a Paragon, but if I was running like a team of 3 Supreme Pluses, for example, just for synergy and like good like team combination, it just would not be effective because an opponent who has all Paragon 2 is going to have so much more inspiration, intimidation, making my heals and my buffs useless and his buffs and heals way more valuable. So I have to run my high Paragon upgraded heroes. I don't really have a choice, even if it kind of limits the synergy. But I think overall we came up with some good synergy comps, so hopefully these teams can work for you. You guys can let me know, or you can even share your formation ID in the comment section. If you have another set of formations you're running and you think other people could benefit from, then I'm sure it'll be helpful if you can share them. But otherwise, that is what I'm going to be running for this week. Hopefully you guys are going to be able to do well in Supreme Arena this week. Again, I'm just chilling in top 20. Maybe occasionally I'll try to snipe the top 5, but I'm not too worried about it. Like, even if I end up with only the 4-star frame at the end of the season, I'm fine with it. Like, I've gotten the 5-star frame the last 2, and yeah, my district is just really competitive right now. If you want to see how competitive it is, I'll show it to you guys. I've showed it before, but like, look at the power level of the hero people here. So of course Splash is untouchable, but then we have another 64 million, we have a 66 million, we have a 60 almost 5 million, we have my Guildmate Wooster almost 60 million. We have, so this player has been doing really well, and I think it's because he's really gone sort of vertical upgrades, really focusing on Paragon upgrades rather than a bunch of different heroes on his account, and he has some key Celestial Hypogeans at Paragon upgrade. Then we have another 58 million, we have a 60 million, we have a 64 million, and then there's me, 55 million. So I'm on the lower end, kind of, like, I'm safely top 20, but like top 5 is going to be really challenging, and it's just not worth the stress, honestly. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. That's going to be it for this video. Good luck this week, and I will see you guys in the next video. And if you want to chat with me more, you can join my AFK Journey Discord server. There's a link to that in the description of this video. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll hopefully see you in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.